a record of 3-9-3. Goals against average of 4.08, a save percentage of 89.6. Bay State in their road navy uniforms with the yellow and white trim. They'll skate from left to right on your screens at home. Bay State in their home white uniforms with the red and blue trim, skating from right to left as we're underway. And Sean Loftus plays one off the boards, unable to get the puck out of the zone was Ranger. This one comes in towards the goal of Pellerito. He's able to paddle it aside for Loftus. At the blue line, kept alive by the Bobcats, and now they get to work. Jace Desmarais with a shot on goal, stopped by Pellerito, and he'll hold on. Only 28 seconds gone by in the first period. Second game in a row for these two teams against each other. They were in action earlier this week. On Tuesday, a 4-3 decision for the Bobcats. With that victory, a 4-point swing knocks Norwich out of playoff contention as this shot on goal knocked down by Pellerito. The teams were tied at 3 through 20 minutes of play. Goals by Jace Desmarais, Landon Booth, and then Desmarais again with 25 seconds to go in the period. Kinahan, Harwell, and Cam Holton, the goal scorers for the Sea Captains. In the second period, Damon Warren would score 5.5 minutes in, and that would prove to be the game winner. Here's Romita from the blue line. His shot never got through to DiFiore, sent around far side. Bobcats looking to clear, instead stolen away by Jamison Bain. Bain pinned up against the wall, taken out of the zone by Ian Skinner, and over the red line by Landon Booth. Booth then sends that into the Norwich bench. Faceoff will be out towards center ice with 1:20 gone by. So the Sea Captains now coming to an end of their schedule. And they have 6 games remaining in this season, including 3 at home, including this one. That puck deflects off a Norwich stick. Faceoff will remain in the offensive zone for the Sea Captains to the right of Ben DiFiore. Correction, this is actually the 10th and final meeting between Bay State and Norwich this season. Over the course of the regular season, these two rivals have gotten at it plenty of times, though the Bobcats have certainly controlled the season series as they have won all 9 games, 3 of them coming in overtime. In the corner, trying to work it on out for the Bobcats is Dylan Gallagher. Instead, stolen away, and Tony Moran, the 0-4 defenseman, will gain his own blue line and swinging along for Ethan Ranger. Norwich's leading scorer takes a shot that goes wide. Moran pinching in from the point, couldn't get a handle on the puck. Knocked out of the zone by Tetsana, and now Gallagher sends one down deep. Gallagher beaten to the puck by Kinahan, who sends this all the way around. It takes a weird hop off the kick plate, so Damon Warren can't keep it alive. Matt Sherm at center ice will send it along and back on down into the zone. Warren the first one there. He's watched by a pair of Sea Captains in the corner. Ethan Ranger able to come up with possession. He sends it softly behind the cage for Sachs. Sachs then sends a pass that's too far for Kinahan. This rolls on down into the Bobcats' end where they look to break out. At center ice, Troy Harwell able to intercept a pass, sent down deep by Tegan Byer. Ben DiFiore sends it around far side. Harwell knocked down to the ice, couldn't keep the puck in the zone. Sean Loftus will send one on goal. That DiFiore sends into the corner. Now Sherm has the puck roll off of his stick. Eventually ends up in the possession of Brian Woke, who sends one down deep. Pellerito leaves it aside for Smith, who sends it into the corner. Pass intercepted. Now Jace Desmarais, who had a pair of goals in that last game, sends a pass that ricochets back up to the point. Fanning on the shot was Beaupre, but the Sea Captains will send it all the way down the ice. And they'll have to come back down to the defensive zone after the icing whistle. 16:42 to go in the first period. Taking a look at the stats for these two teams, Landon Booth and Will Cormie lead the way in games between Bay State and Norwich. Booth has 6 goals and 8 assists in 8 games. Cormie in 9 games has 3 goals and 10 assists, 14 and 13 points total, respectively. Ethan Ranger paces the Sea Captains with a pair of goals plus 5 assists in 9 games played. Here's Troy Harwell up ahead, connecting with Tegan Byer. Byer gives back Harwell, knocked off his stick from behind by Nate Mastroni. Behind the net, chipped along Ian Skinner. Pinching in from the point was Loftus. Loose puck fluttering around outside the slot. Eventually, the Bobcats are able to take possession as Mastroni sends out towards center ice. Loftus quickly sends back the other way. Byer couldn't cleanly control the pass, and so Montague goes far side. Ian Skinner, his pass knocked down by Aiden Bain. Drew Schemmel there as well, knocked away from him. Mastroni knocked off the puck, but Landon Booth able to work it up ahead. Drop pass from Mastroni a little too strong as it goes back out towards center ice. Byer getting tied up with Skinner. Puck battled for at the blue line. A pair of players for both teams as Captain Landon Booth tries kicking it into the Norwich zone. No sail there. Instead, it gets sent over far side where Paul Johnson sends one that goes through the blue paint. Mastroni, the lone Bobcat in the zone, can't come up with possession of the puck. And now Sean Loftus sends one geometrically off the boards that gets into the possession momentarily of Aiden Bain before he's knocked down to the ice. Will Morissette had it knocked away as well, and now Gallagher sees Loftus, sends this off the boards from center ice. Bain will send it on down. Lots of ping-ponging between the blue lines right now for these two teams. 5 minutes gone by in the first period as Dylan Gallagher tries to gain speed through the neutral zone. Canceled off neatly by Tim Hayden. Picked up by Romita, and now here's Matteo Romita onto the tape of Brian Essing. Essing tried threading a needle for Bain, knocked away off of a defensive skate. Romita again at center ice. He'll go D-to-D across for Hayden. Hayden's pass off the stick of Essing into the Bobcat zone. They quickly send it on out. Oh, neither team able to really possess the puck for any extended amount of time, and when we say extended amount of time, we're talking in the span of seconds right now. Essing sends one down deep. First one there is Morissette for the Cats, and they're able to clear it on out. Tim Hayden, below the red line, will send it back on down. DiFiore leaves it behind the cage, and now Ryan Janik swings over far side for Paya Tetsana. Tetsana, a long pass, can't quite connect with Gallagher. He'll still chase after it. Gallagher and Moran come together. Puck goes behind the net. Gallagher still battling for the puck. On the far side half wall, Gallagher finally knocked off. Flipped out of the zone by Sachs. Chasing after this is Ethan Ranger. No icing on the play. Ranger with some speed. A centering feed for Sachs, knocked away by Sherm. Now Sachs tries going back to Moran at the point. Moran, under some duress, still managed to send one towards the front of the cage at Ethan Ranger, then deflects into the corner. Big Nick Sachs behind the net. Sachs, far side corner, tried to connect once again with Ranger. Damon Warren had other ideas, and the Bobcats get it over the blue line. Now a 2-on-1 developing for Bay State. Pass across the way, goes off the skates of Moran, and then Moran dives on out and blocks another pass. Shot from the point, off the chest to Pellerito, off the high glass on the sidewall. It stays in play. Sherm, far side, broken up by Sachs, cleared down the ice. This should be icing against the Sea Captains. And back to touch up is Matt Sherm. So 13:09 to go in the first period, and the faceoff will come back down to the zone belonging to Brendan Pellerito. Pellerito getting another start in goal for the Sea Captains, as Andrew Yoakum finds himself watching this game. Patrick Christo is dressed as the backup, though Yoakum has certainly put a strong case together for owning the Norwich crease for the rest of this season. Pellerito, however, will have his own ideas, and well, as long as those two are playing well, the team will play well as well. Here's Smith from the point, kicked aside by DiFiore. Sent into the corner. Harwell in the corner comes up with possession. Troy Harwell giving himself some space for Killian Ranger. A rising shot goes over the top of the net. Byers' rebound attempt went wide. In the corner, it's picked up by the Bobcats, and Landon Booth tripped up in the slot. That will be a penalty. Darryl Smith will chase after this. Coming out of his cage is Pellerito, and that was a delayed icing against the Bobcats. So because Pellerito comes out of his crease and negates the icing call, the faceoff will be in the Norwich zone. 12:25 to go in the first period, and Tegan Byer will sit 2 minutes for tripping. Taking a look at the special teams for both of these squads coming into this game on the power play. Bay State ranked 23rd overall in the league. They convert on 22% of their power plays on the kill. The Sea Captains right in the middle of the pack, 18th overall. They kill off 72.5 of their penalties, and they're able to clear it off the opening face-off. DeFiore sends around behind the cage for Montague. Montague will chip one back over into the far side. First one there is Ethan Ranger, whose shot goes wide. Now Jamison Bain wanted to get it back deep into the Bobcat zone. Stolen away by Montague. Montague gets around Smith and gets dumped down to the ice as Jamison Bain gets back into a defensive position. Montague back up to his skates, now stepping on in. A shot. It bounces around in the blue paint. Jamison Bain comes up with possession, and he's able to clear it on down. Ethan Ranger chasing after us. DeFiore will come out of his cage. He'll shovel one around near side for Nate Mastroni. Mastroni up ahead, Landon Booth. Here comes Bay State's captain over the Norwich blue line. Booth, nice move to get around Romita. Centering feed ends up in the air behind the cage. Mastroni down to his knees. Possession taken by Essing, and he'll send it all the way down. Brian Essing, can't say enough good things about this player. Only 17 games played for the Sea Captains. As this is Matt Sherm, he scores. Matt Sherm, a snapshot up high. A power play goal, and Bay State leads it 1-0. For Sherm, it is only his second goal of the season. You figure with a shot like that, why doesn't he shoot it more often, as the puck and the release, too much for Brendan Pellerito to handle. And so with 11:06 to go in the first period, the Bobcats 1 for 1 on the power play. Tegan Byer out of the box on the ice, and he wins the next face-off. Puck turned over by Sachs, and now Tony Moran into the stick of Troy Harwell. Harwell will send one down deep. DeFiore tries to settle it behind his cage. Also, there was Tetsana sending it around. Now Paul Johnson up ahead for Mastroni, who gets it as far as the red line. Tony Moran will send this one on back. Puck took another interesting hop off the back of the glass. And now Landon Booth. His pass can't connect with Mastroni. Sachs back to retrieve. Has some pressure applied by Skinner, but is able to give it along for Byer, who chips one up ahead. Killian Ranger beaten to the puck by Booth. Landon Booth picks up the puck at the red line. Knocked away from him by Sachs. Sherm flips one up ahead. And now Dylan Gallagher sees this get chipped off the glass above him onto the tape of Troy Harwell. 3-on-3 into the zone come the Sea Captains. Harwell couldn't get around Sherm, chipped off the glass out towards center ice. Darryl Smith will send it back on down. Halfway through this first period, Bay State leads at 1-0. Behind the net, they look to set up a breakout. It's Matt Sherm on the near side wall. He'll throw one far side. Aiden Bain got a stick on it. It's no icing on the play as Sean Loftus picks up in his own zone. Goes D to D across for Darryl Smith. Then Schemmel able to deflect it into the zone. Aiden Bain just out of his reach. Stolen away by Beaupre out towards center ice. Beaupre has that puck hop over his stick. And so it'll be Titsana going far side, directed off the stick of Beaupre. Jamison Bain able to pick up the loose puck. They have to dodge around the linesman as well. Given across for Darryl Smith, and Smith throws one far side. Schemmel off sides. Back out towards center ice. He simply chips it into the Bay State zone. And so they'll turn it around with Jace Desmarais. Desmarais, with his hair flowing out of his helmet, drives into the corner. A centering feed knocked away by Smith. Montague, a drive from the blue line, just goes wide. Now Beaupre tries sending down low, wanted to hook up with Tetsana, stolen away by Ethan Ranger instead. Ranger knocked away by Beaupre. Kinahan, fresh off the bench, will chip it on down. Logan Beaupre, a native of Gatineau in Quebec. A couple good junior teams have called Gatineau home, as Romita, the Ontarian, has his shot blocked. Another shot by Tim Hayden, also blocked before it got through to DeFiore. Oh, had a nice little segment there where it was all Canadian players from towns with major junior teams. Tim Hayden, closest junior team to his hometown is the Danbury Junior Hat-Tricks, who currently reside at the bottom of the East Division in the North American League. 8:25 to go in the first period. Offsides against the Bobcats, so a face-off outside the Norwich zone. On a 50-50 draw, Damon Warren able to win it on back. Woke will send it down deep. Pellerito leaves it behind his cage, then puts a pass through the legs of Hayden. Hayden able to quickly reset. D-to-D behind for Romita. Knifed out of the zone by Kinahan, but sent right back down. Now Hayden turning away from the pressure of Demaray. Goes across for Romita. Can't complete with Kinahan. Woke flips it back down deep. And now Romita with no help on the near side, while now Essing becomes an option, but Romita's already turned around and gone back up the same way. Ethan Ranger tries chipping it off the wall. Damon Warren knocks it down. Now Ranger again, this time played up for Matteo Romita. And Romita from the red line will get it down deep. First one to the puck is Will Morissette. He reverses behind the cage for Janik. Janik runs into some trouble in the form of Brian Essing. Essing still battling for the puck. Poked up the wall. Harwell comes up with it. Harwell gives for Hayden. Hayden on goal. Saved by DiFiore. Loose puck on the side of the cage. Picked up by Morissette. He goes hard off the glass out towards the neutral zone. Tim Hayden having to deal with Brian Woke. Uses his frame to protect the puck before sending it on down. Morissette turns puck over behind the cage. Poked away by Killian Ranger. And then this puck deflects off the leg of Tegan Byer out of play. 6:59 to go in the first period. Face-off will be outside the Bay State zone, and the Bobcats holding a 1-0 lead. Bay State, over their past few games, well, they have kind of been catching fire. They have won 4 of their last 5 games, including 2 over the Sea Captains, 2 over New Jersey. With those 8 points, the Bobcats have moved into the 4th and final playoff position in the East Division. The Titans still have a few games in hand, but right now, Bay State finds themselves in a playoff position. Here's Troy Harwell to the outside. Harwell stops, looks for an option. Harwell goes down low. Nick Sachs will pick it up. Sachs from a sharp angle, saved by DiFiore, and the face-off will be to Ben DiFiore's right. Ben DiFiore, a native of Glens Falls, New York. Glens Falls home to more than their fair share of minor league hockey teams over the course of the last few years. Currently home to Adirondack in the ECHL. Here come the Bobcats back the other way. It's Dylan Gallagher. Knocked away from him, flipped out towards center ice. Montague will send one back down deep. Pellerito gets it with the butt end of his stick, leaves it on the side of the cage for Loftus. And now Nick Lipinski. Played ahead for Jamison Bain. Bain will send one down deep. In pursuit is Schemmel as DiFiore shovels one around to the near side wall. Darryl Smith from the point. Down in the butterfly, DiFiore able to make the save. Taking a fall down to the ice is Lipinski. In the corner, here's Paul Johnson. Sent around far side, Alex Penning. Penning sends that off the skates of Loftus. And now Sean Loftus, the defenseman, will become the first forechecker. Sent up towards center ice, deflected into the zone by Tedsana. First one, it's Ethan Ranger. Tedsana right on top of him. Tedsana, well, I'm not sure if he got caught up high, but kind of stopped his pursuit of the puck. Meanwhile, the Bobcats still with the puck in the offensive zone as the puck ends up on the far side. Kinahan able to play it off the wall. Penning at center ice, right back into the Norwich zone. 5:13 to go in a fast-moving first period. Here's Loftus. His pass goes through the legs of Kinahan, and that works out in the Sea Captain's favor as it's Brian Essing. Caught from behind, however, by Logan Beaupre. Ethan Ranger tried swinging one towards the front. Beaupre there to steal that. And now Logan Beaupre to the outside, working his way around Hayden. Beaupre in the corner, has an option at the point in Brian Woke, who's covering in his position. Instead, Kinahan able to steal it away from the Quebecer. At center ice, here's Romita. Tried to one-hand one up ahead. Instead, it'll be Jace Demaray coming back the other way. Demaray towards the front of the net. A loose puck in the crease. Getting a glove on it is Pellerito. And with 4:33 to go in the first period, face-off once again will be in the Sea Captain zone. Well, not much in the way of shots for the Sea Captains so far in this period. We'll get an update on the official shot totals during the intermission. Face-off's going to be to Pellerito's left. Stepping in for the draw is Ian Skinner. He'll go up against Tegan Byer once the Sea Captains have 5 skaters on the ice. Face-off cleanly won by Byer, but behind the cage, first one to it is Landon Booth. His centering feed gets knocked away. Tony Moran reverses behind the net for Sachs. Sachs goes hard off the boards, and now Harwell tries leaving it up ahead for Essing. Byer unable to get there either, and then the puck bounces off the ceiling here at the Rose Garden Ice Arena. Face-off should be down in the Bobcat zone with 4:12 to go in the first period. Not the tallest of roofs here at the Rose Garden Ice Arena. Not the lowest either. Lowest roof, at least in my experience, belongs to Fort DuPont Ice Arena down in southeast Washington, D.C. As this pass finds its way over to Mastroni. The ceiling at Fort DuPont, home to Catholic University, American University, and the only public rink down in Washington, D.C., but the roof is sloped. There's a grandstand about 15 to 20 rows high on one side of the ice. The roof is obviously pretty tall on that side, but then it slopes down to where the benches are, to the point where if you're standing on the ice with a hockey stick next to the glass, you can actually poke the ceiling tiles with your stick. From personal experience, I can tell you that the rink management, not exactly appreciative of that. Here's Tegan Byer at the blue line. Up ahead for Troy Harwell. Harwell with some speed. Tries to go inside out around Ryan Janik. Goes off Janik's skate. Sent back down the ice. And icing is called against Bay State with 3:16 to go in the first period. Let's see which side the Sea Captains elect to set up on. It'll be the Baines, Jamison, and Aiden out there alongside Drew Schemmel. And they'll set up on the left wing side. Man, check that. They'll make it the right wing side. Bay State lined up thinking that the face-off was going to be closer to us. So Jamison Bain on the draw up against Ian Skinner. Bain with the face-off win back. Loftus leaves it for Schemmel, who sends a rising shot into the glove of Ben DiFiore. That will give the Bobcats an opportunity to change some tired legs out on the ice with only 3:11 to go in the first period. Sea Captains will be on the road tomorrow. A 4 o'clock face-off down in Long Beach. Last time that the Sea Captains will visit the Sharks this season. And that game, along with all Norwich Sea Captain games, available right here on Hockey TV. Drew Schemmel will send the puck down deep. Matt Sherm back to retrieve behind his own net. He'll chip it along for Dylan Gallagher. Darryl Smith from the point, getting a piece of it on its way through as Aiden Bain made things a bit more difficult for DiFiore. Now Smith from the red line, this time on into the glove of DiFiore. And he leaves it behind the cage, wrapped around by Beaupre. Smith able to hold it alive at the line. Bain gives down low. Bain. Now it's Jamison to Aiden for those of you keeping score at home. Now through center ice, it's Dylan Gallagher. Well offside is Paya Tetsana as he got wrapped up with Darryl Smith. Faceoff will come outside of the Norwich zone with 2:20 to go in the first period. So fresh legs on the ice for the Sea Captains. It's Ethan Ranger centering Jack Kinahan and Brian Essing. Those three players might have the most points per game for the Norwich Sea Captains. They are two of the three leading scorers. Brian Essing offsides. Face-off will come back out towards center ice. 2:09 to go in the first period. And we'll do it all over again. So Ethan Ranger on the draw. Some jawing going on the ice. Not sure what the issue is. Damon Warren with the face-off win, sends it out into the neutral zone where Mateo Romita is there to pick it up. Given along for Tim Hayden. Norwich's only representative at the Top Prospects tournament sends a puck all the way down the ice. No icing on the play. Nice hit thrown by Kinahan. That should free things up. Behind the cage, here's Ethan Ranger. A centering feed knocked away by Sherm, the only goal scorer. And now here come the Bobcats 2-on-2 the other way. It's Brian Woke from a long ways away, missing the net wide. Wraps all the way around the boards. Picked up at center ice by Beaupre, and he's able to connect with Woke. Brian Woke with 90 seconds to go in the period. His shot flutters over the top of the cage. Warren a centering feed, stolen away by Ranger. And now Jack Kinahan, poked away by Desmarais. Kinahan, however, able to get it back. That goes off of somebody on the Bobcats bench, but play continues. Trying to look as innocent as possible on the Bobcats bench was Mike Montague as he took that off the glove. But no harm, no foul. 1:07 to go in the period as here's Troy Harwell. 1-on-2 into the Bobcats zone. Harwell to the outside, gains some reinforcements, dropped back for Ranger. Ethan Ranger now draws a pair of Bobcat defenders in the corner. Killian Ranger will swing it over far side. Nobody home wearing a white jersey as Mastroni will send it all the way down. No icing on the play with 45 seconds to go in the period. Here's Tony Moran. Played up ahead, Harwell. Harwell, his pass knifed down at the blue line by Montague. Byer thought that it was going to go past him. Wrapped around to the far side half wall. Mastroni unable to clear. Following up on the play and unable to clear is Paul Johnson. From the seat of his pants, Harwell tried swinging it back down low. Instead, stolen away by Landon Booth. Killian Ranger steals it right back. And now Ranger, his shot, kicked aside by DiFiore. 14 seconds to go in the period. Here's Johnson, flipping over near side. Landon Booth looking to clear, unable to do so. As Harwell on goal, deflected by Byer. And DiFiore saving his best save of the period for the last one. As a horn will blow, defeated Austin by a 15-1 score. Almost doesn't seem fair when you win by a couple touchdowns. Back underway, second period has begun. Bay State in their blue uniforms skating from right to left. Norwich in the home whites skating from left to right as it's Matt Sherm, the only goal scorer in this game, sending a pass up over the blue line. Can't quite connect with Brian Woke. Sent back down into the Bobcat zone, and this time Sherm is able to get it up ahead for Damon Warren. Now Warren on a 2-on-1. Warren a shot, saved by Pellerito. The rebound trickles behind the cage as diving on out to block a pass was Sean Loftus. Now at the blue line, a shot gets deflected wide by Warren. Warren then steals it right back in the far side corner. He'll send it back up to Sherm. Sherm for Warren, top of the circle, on goal, saved by Pellerito. The rebound by Desmarais, stopped by Pellerito. Ethan Ranger trying to come up with possession. Instead, it'll be Damon Warren taking a shot that deflects out of play over the protective netting behind that tall glass of Brendan Pellerito. Face-off will be in the Norwich zone with just about a minute gone by in the second period. So 19:06 to go in the second. That first period kind of flew on by. Nice pace to the game early on, although neither team really able to get much in the way of possession time. So off the draw, loose puck ends up in the corner. Here's Mateo Romita playing it up ahead, getting taken out by the blue line monster was Aiden Bain, but he's able to recover and give along for Drew Schemmel. Schemmel, backhand shot, stopped by DiFiore. The rebound by Aiden Bain trickles wide. A centering feed goes through the blue paint, picked up by Landon Booth, and Booth will get it out of the zone. Here's Landon Booth trying to force his way towards the front of the net. Aiden Bain back in a defensive position, able to break things up. Johnson goes back to Mastroni at the point, swung along further. A shot off the blocker of Pellerito. Now Romita under some pressure. Sends one that goes off the lip of the boards all the way down the ice. This should be icing against Norwich, and back to touch up is Mike Montague. So, with 18:16 to go in the second period, we'll do it all over again in the Sea Captain zone. So face-off to the right of Pellerito. Stepping in for this draw is Ian Skinner. One back by Jamison Bain, wrapped along the boards. and then deflected out of play. And that went right off the stick of Landon Booth. So faceoff will come out towards center ice, and the Sea Captains will be able to get a change. So face-off right here in front of us at center ice. It'll be Tegan Byer on the draw up against Alex Penning. Byer with the face-off win. Nick Sachs knocks down a pair of Bobcats. Can't get the puck out of the zone as Penning's shot goes wide. Nick Sachs in the corner. He'll throw that off the glass. This goes all the way down the ice. Should be icing once again against the Sea Captains. And so we'll do it all over again in the Norwich zone once more. Just 2 minutes gone by in the second period. So face-off to the right of Pellerito. It's Damon Warren on the draw this time against Byer. Or check that, still Penning, but Byer with the face-off win. Nick Sachs gets it over the red line. Following up on the play, Killian Ranger. He'll send it down deep. DiFiore slows it down enough for Sherm. Sherm behind the net, pass intercepted. Centering feed by Byer off the paddle of the stick of DiFiore. Moran unable to keep the puck in the zone. And now here's Alex Penning. Knocked off his stick as he entered into the Sea Captain zone. Penning then able to knock that down out of midair, but he does so with the high stick, which will move the face-off all the way back down into the Bobcats' end. Well, after a first period that had some good pace to it, things have slowed down a bit here in the second. Now, if it's a high stick against the Bobcats, the face-off should come all the way down the ice. Instead, they're going to have the face-off outside of the Sea Captain zone, so perhaps the officials rethinking that high sticking call. So off the draw, here's Ethan Ranger. Can't get it down deep. Behind the net of Pellerito. It's Sachs going over far, or check that, Loftus far side, not out of the zone, a shot on. And getting a piece of it was Warren, but he couldn't direct it in. Jack Kinahan looks to play off the wall. He finds Ethan Ranger. Ranger into the zone. Ranger knocked away as Brian Woke got back into a defensive position. Byer swings it along for Smith, deflected on goal. DiFiore gets a pad on it. Ethan Ranger behind the net, knocked down to one knee. Matt Sherm will pick up the puck, and Sherm looks to direct it on out. Off the skates of Killian Rain, or check that, off of Kinahan, sent back down into the Bay State zone. This time DiFiore will send it up the wall himself. Loftus from the blue line, deflected by Essing in front. DiFiore able to get a blocker on it. Here's Darryl Smith. Good job by Smith to hold the line. Essing gets run over by Sherm. Wrapped around to the near side wall. Loftus unable to keep it in this time as he gets battled for alongside Woke. Woke will send it on down into the Norwich zone. Darryl Smith goes hard around the boards, corralled by Ranger, but he can't clear. Here's Demaray giving along for Warren. Warren tried to go through a pair of Sea Captain defenders, lost possession of the puck. Jack Kinahan back the other way, 2-on-2. A shot on off the glove of DiFiore. Then DiFiore comes well out of his crease to hold on. Face-off will be to DiFiore's left with just about 4 minutes gone by in the second period. Taking a look around the rest of the league, lots of games later on tonight. It'll start at 7:15 Eastern Time down in College Station, Texas, as the Louisiana Drillers will visit the Texas Roadrunners at 8:05 Eastern. A pair of games. The Mid-Cities Junior Stars will pay a visit to Oklahoma City. You know, it's one thing here on the East Coast, we talk about bus legs. In the Eastern Division, the longest trip, it belongs to the New Jersey Titans, either heading out to Holyoke, Massachusetts to face off against these Bay State Bobcats, or up to Attleboro, Massachusetts to face off against the Northeast Generals. As this puck gets sent wide of the cage, Pellerito goes post to post and is able to use that big beaver tail of a stick to keep it out. Paul Johnson's shot from the point blocked by Schemmel. Jamison Bain looking to clear, and he'll connect with Schemmel at center ice. Now here comes Drew Schemmel in on a breakaway. Schemmel on in, tripped up from behind. Referee's arm is up. To the bench goes Pellerito for the extra attacker. Play continues as getting a piece of it is Mastroni. Schemmel will not get the penalty shot that he's looking for. But with 15:27 to go in the second period, we'll get to see the Sea Captains on their first power play of the game. Drew Schemmel still trying to give himself a penalty shot. He's lined up for it, but it's not going to happen. So going on to the power play for the first time are the Sea Captains. They come in converting on 18.8% of their power plays. The Bay State Bobcats on the penalty kill, ranked 27th overall. They kill off 62.7% of their penalties. Looks like Norwich head coach Kevin Cunningham will call over the official as he tries to lobby for a penalty shot as well. Sea Captains might have a point here. Schemmel was free and away on a breakaway and was fouled from behind. But considering that 2 minutes is up on the board, I don't feel like the officials are going to change their mind, much to the Sea Captain's chagrin. So the face-off will be to Ben DeFiore's right. First power play unit on the ice for the Sea Captains. It's the Ranger brothers, Ethan and Killian, alongside Jamison Bain, Tim Hayden, Tony Moran back on the blue line. Off the draw, face-off won by Ethan Ranger. Puck ends up down behind the cage for Sherm. Wrapped around the board. Nice job by Moran to keep that in the zone as Killian Ranger sends down low for Ethan. Here's Ethan behind the net. Swept away by Sherm. Jamison Bain and Sherm on the far side. Sherm able to force it up the wall, but not out. Nice keep by Tim Hayden. Now Killian Ranger getting knocked down from behind was Jamison Bain. Hayden sends one towards the front of the net. Getting a stick on it was Logan Beaupre. But now the Norwich Sea Captains, who trail 1-0, will be on a 5-on-3 power play for 1 minute and 28 seconds. Matt Sherm going to the box for that hit on Jamison Bain. He'll sit 2 minutes for cross-checking, and the Sea Captains with a great opportunity to try and tie this game. Sea Captains will keep the same unit out on the ice for the Bobcats. They'll have Ian Skinner up front, Paul Johnson on the point alongside Logan Beaupre. Ethan Ranger on the draw. He'll win it towards the goal. DeFiore has no problem just hopping on top of that. 2 seconds elapsing off the clock, and we'll do it all over again to DeFiore's right. Another draw, another face-off win by Ethan Ranger. Won it towards the slot. Jamison Bain unable to control it, and it's sent all the way down by Beaupre. So Pellerito will leave it behind the cage where Tony Moran can begin working up. Moran, an errant pass, can't connect with Killian Ranger. Flipped back down into the Sea Captain zone. 1:05 to go on the 5-on-3 advantage as Tim Hayden will lead things forward. On to the tape of Jamison Bain. Bain into the zone, drops back for Ethan Ranger, and now Moran. Moran, a shot, kick save by DeFiore, and cleared on out by the Cats once again. 50 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Pellerito plays up ahead for Tony Moran. Moran over the red line and now into the Bobcat zone. He'll swing it on back for Ethan Ranger. Ranger cutting towards the front of the net. Picks up some help from Brian Essing. Can't connect the pass to Essing, however, and the Bobcats will clear once again. 30 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Over 6 minutes gone by in the second. Here's Tim Hayden. Second unit now on the ice for the Sea Captains. It's Byer, Kinahan, and Essing can't get the puck over the line. Stolen away by a fellow 19 in Logan Beaupre. 15 seconds to go, and Sean Loftus will put his head down and barrel ahead through the neutral zone. Loftus to the outside. He'll swoop behind the net. Played back for Darryl Smith. Smith plays it again back down low. Sea Captains rushing themselves on the power play. Sent in front. Saved by DeFiore. The rebound that score! A bouncing puck in the blue paint. And the Sea Captains get a bounce go their way. A power play goal by Tegan Byer, and we are tied at 1. For Byer, it is his team-leading 13th goal of the season. But unfortunately for the Sea Captains, the goal comes just as the 5-on-3 expires. So we're back to even strength hockey, but most importantly, the Sea Captains find themselves on the board, and we're tied at 1. 13:22 to go in the second period. Norwich head coach Kevin Cunningham questioning the man strength advantage out on the ice, so the official will head on over to the box to confirm that the 5-on-3 had expired. Looks like it had expired by a second or two. The initial penalty to Mike Montague was called at 4:33, and we've got 13:22 on the clock, so I'm no mathematician, but I think that's a little more than 2 minutes. So it looks like everybody's able to figure things out down at ice level, put away the slide rules, and we'll get back to business. Here's Killian Ranger off the opening faceoff. Nate Mastroni steals it away and sends it on down. Pellerito behind the cage, and now Tony Moran. Moran, cross-ice pass for Killian Ranger. That connects. Ranger deflects it into his own. Morissette able to take possession. Will Morissette up for Mastroni, and now on the tape of Landon Booth over the Sea Captain zone. Booth thrown into the wall by Hayden. Nice defensive play. Hayden comes up with possession of the puck. He'll send one far side. Off the stick of Ethan Ranger down low. Ranger tries dropping it back for Harwell. That goes off of the stick of Ryan Janik. Hayden back in his own end. Swung along Loftus. Loftus plays up the wall too far for Harwell. Tegan Byer will chase after us. DiFiore well out of his cage. Byer able to take it away from DiFiore, but unable to maintain possession. Then Morissette's pass goes through everybody. Icing is called as Darryl Smith is back to touch up. And with 12:25 to go in the second period, another offensive zone faceoff coming up for the Norwich Sea Captains. Well, the Sea Captains outshot the Bobcats 7-4 in the first period. They had a 5-on-3 power play here in the second where they weren't really able to get much going until the 5-on-3 expired, and that's when they scored. The goal scorer, Tegan Byer, in on this draw against Ian Skinner. Face-off won by Skinner, so the Cats from behind their own cage. Mastroni will flip it up towards center ice. Darryl Smith from the blue line sends that off of Killian Ranger. That doesn't feel good. Loftus able to chip it up ahead. Tegan Byer can't work it around Johnson. Now Johnson far side for Mastroni. Mastroni can't get the puck down deep. Harwell tried going up ahead for Essing at center ice. Instead still in the zone. Sent in front and sending one just wide was Skinner. Now Mastroni tries going back down low for Skinner outside of his reach. Loftus sends it around into the near side wall. Paul Johnson pinching in from the point, able to break things up momentarily. Long pass goes all the way down the ice. Harwell beats out the icing call. Troy Harwell by himself in the Bobcat zone. More and more defenders surrounding Harwell. Harwell eventually got knocked down behind the cage. A little slow back up to his feet. A shot by Hayden from the point, stopped by DiFiore. Follow-up shot by Loftus got blocked. And then the Bobcats through center ice, directed along for Tetsana. Paya Tetsana knocked off his stick by Hayden, still kept in the zone by Gallagher. Now Landon Booth, stolen away by Bain. Harwell, bad pass. Johnson able to step into it. Harwell, another opportunity to clear. This time diving on out, gets it out. Johnson and Harwell trying to square up with each other. Harwell has no interest in that. Meanwhile, about 150 feet the other way, DiFiore able to get a glove on it. Faceoff will be down in the Bay State zone with 10:53 to go in the second period in a tied 1-1 game. Well, on Tuesday, it was 6 goals in the first period, 3 apiece for both these teams. Scoring not as pronounced so far in this game, though there's still plenty of hockey left to play. We're not even halfway through. Schemmel tripped up at the blue line. He's looking for a call. That's not coming. Paya Tetsana in the corner. Stripped of the puck by Aiden Bain. Bain, however, can't get it around Penning. Tetsana still battling for it for the Bobcats. Given back up to the point. D to D they go. Here's Sherm. Down low, Gallagher. Gallagher centering feed knocked away by Bain. Behind the net, Gallagher comes up with possession of the puck again. This time has Beaupre at the point. Gallagher will keep it himself and send it into an empty corner. First one to that is Timmy Hayden. Hayden around the wall. Schemmel. He gets hit hard from behind. Meanwhile, a shot from the point, gloved by Pellerito, and he'll hold on. Oh, Drew Schemmel certainly drawing the ire of the Bay State Bobcats in this game. He's drawn one penalty already. Wouldn't be surprised if he draws another. Face-off will be to the right of Brendan Pellerito with 10:09 to go in the second period, just about halfway through the game. This was a house game. The backup goaltenders would be warming up to get into this one, but it's not a house game. It's the NA3HL. Here's Ethan Ranger, played up ahead onto the tape of Essing. Essing tries giving one ahead for Kinahan, knocked away by Warren. In their own zone, the Bobcats look to clear. Long pass up ahead. Brian Woke can't swing it deep into the Sea Captain zone. Tony Moran off the glass out towards center ice. Knifed on down by Janik, but corralled by the Sea Captains. Offsides is called as Jack Kinahan got ahead of the play. And with 9:44 to go in the second period, we'll do it all over again in the neutral zone. The line of Harwell, Byer, and Ranger back on the ice for the Sea Caps. It's Byer and Warren on the draw. Off the draw, controlled by the Bobcats, thrown along far side. Brian Woke can't control it. In front, they score! Oh, a goal out of nowhere for the Bay State Bobcats. And they regain the lead. It's 2-1. Looks like it will be Brian Woke's goal. If it is, it's his 13th goal of the season. And the Norwich Sea Captains will once again have to play from behind. Yeah, goals out of nowhere like that make a team question their defensive selves. So now the Sea Captains once again playing from behind. Off the draw, it's sent back down into the Norwich zone. Drew Schemmel takes a swipe at things, can't get control of the puck. Mastroni had that go off of his skates. Hayden will send it on out into the neutral zone. Back the other way, deflected into the zone by Landon Booth. Matteo Romita there to pick it up. Romita reverses behind the cage, Hayden. Tim Hayden will play one up through center ice. Mastroni gets it with a high stick, but that prevents it from connecting with Aiden Bain. Jamison Bain following up on the play, gives along for Aiden Bain. Aiden Bain in the corner, swings one wide of the cage. Romita pinching in from the point. Plays down low, Jamison Bain. Wrapped around the wall. First one to it is Mastroni. Schemmel there as well. Loose puck, stolen away by Paul Johnson. Johnson plays up ahead Landon Booth. He can't control it cleanly, however. And so Romita sends back the other way. Interesting hop off the kick plate. Goes over the head of Paul Johnson. Johnson eventually able to pick it up behind the net. Given long for Montague and flipped out of the zone. Tony Moran sends it off of Ethan Ranger's leg. And so that will draw the offsides whistle. 8:23 to go in the second period. Face off in front of the Norwich bench as they roll out the line of Ethan Ranger, Brian Essing, and Jack Kinahan. For the Bobcats, it'll be Alex Penning on the draw. He's got Dylan Gallagher and Paya Tetsana out there with him. Face off one by the Sea Captain. Sack sends it in on goal from the neutral zone, and DiFiore forced to hold on. So the face off will be to Ben DiFiore's left. So, Sea Captains with the offensive zone face-off. Let's see if they can get something going here. Off the draw. It's Sachs, able to keep it alive at the blue line and able to get away from most of a check from Tetsana. Paya Tetsana sees this go past his stick all the way down the ice. Moran gets to the puck as it crosses the goal line. No icing, now turned over. Shot saved by Pellerito. Loose puck in the slot. Picked up by Penning. And Alex Penning gets to work. Down low, Tetsana. Checked by Ethan Ranger. That frees up the puck. Ethan Ranger will flip one off the boards. Not past the red line, however, as Sherm able to send it back the other way. Moran will send it all the way down the ice. And the Bobcats will touch up for icing. And a faceoff coming up in the offensive zone with 7:38 to go in the second period. So face off to the right of Brendan Pellerito. Pellerito and Andrew Yoakum have battled for control of the Norwich crease pretty much all season. Up ahead, here comes Jack Kinahan, one-on-one against Matt Sherm. Kinahan a shot into the breadbasket of DiFiore. Face off now in the Sea Captain's offensive zone and off the icing. That gives them a chance to get some fresh legs on the ice. So face off to the left of DiFiore. It'll be Byer, Harwell, and Killian Ranger out on the ice. Byer has the left-handed shot, Troy Harwell, in the shooter's position. Byer able to win it to Harwell. He didn't have a shooting lane, so he goes back to the point. Loftus D-to-D for Smith down low. Now Byer finds Harwell. Back up to Loftus. His shot on goal. Check that, DiFiore able to make the save. Loftus again sends down low. This time it's Harwell having it knocked away. Knifed at him midair by Logan Beaupre. And at the red line, Beaupre will send it on down into the Sea Captain's zone. Beaupre once again with the puck in his possession. Also has some help from Damon Warren. Sent down low. Loftus reverses along the same side wall where Darryl Smith gives up ahead Killian Ranger. Ranger goes far side. Here's Tegan Byer. Gets around Sherm. Byer a shot off the shoulder of DiFiore. Ends up behind the cage. Byer's lost his stick on the play. Meanwhile, it's Troy Harwell able to pick up the puck. Nice play between Byer and Harwell. Harwell reverses with Smith. Smith, a backhander, doesn't get through as it's blocked by Beaupre. Now Harwell at the blue line. He'll give a long for Smith. Smith wanted to turn around and shoot it, but had some trouble corralling it. Also had trouble with Matt Sherm right in front of him. At center ice, it's chipped on down. On goal by Desmarais. Pellerito will leave it aside. Loftus plays up ahead. Can't connect with Killian Ranger. Almost connects with Tegan Byer, who then gets canceled out by Sherm. So now Matt Sherm played up ahead for Ian Skinner. Skinner over the Norwich blue line. He'll open up his hips and look for an option. Didn't have anything really materialize for him. So behind the net, it's Tim Hayden for the Sea Captains. Giving along Killian Ranger. Killian Ranger plays it up towards center ice. Unable to get the puck back was Janik. Harwell at the end of his shift gives along for Jamison Bain, who sends down deep. 5:35 to go in the second period. 2-1 your score. The Bay State Bobcats holding on to the 2-1 lead. Timmy Hayden sends down low. Schemmel gets bumped by Morissette. Played back behind the net for Schemmel. Morissette again on top of him. This time Jamison Bain throws a shoulder into it. Pops on out. Bain plays back for Romita, who just barely keeps it alive. Romita sends down deep. Schemmel, there's a delayed call coming up here. I believe it's going to be against the Bobcats, though the whistle was blown as Schemmel touched the puck. So 5:04 to go in the second period, and let's see who the penalty is against. Looks like it is going to be a Sea Captain's penalty as Drew Schemmel finds his way towards the penalty box. So the Bay State Bobcats will go on to their second power play of the game. They are 1 for 1 so far. It was the first goal of the game, and it came off the stick of Matt Sherm. Ethan Ranger, Jamison Bain. The forwards on this penalty kill paired up with Nick Sachs and Tony Moran. For the Bobcats, they'll have Nate Mastroni up front, alongside Jace Desmarais and Landon Booth. Mike Montague on the point. Ian Skinner out there as well, as Booth will play this power play as a defenseman. Still waiting for the penalty time to pop up on the board. There it is. Now we can drop the puck legally. Off the draw, Ethan Ranger with the face-off win. Bain unable to clear. Getting tripped up on the play was Booth. No call coming as the Bobcats have to retreat out towards center ice. Here's Ian Skinner. Giving along Landon Booth. Booth drops back Montague. Mike Montague played up ahead for Skinner. Offsides called. Well, you can't stick handle too much on the blue line, and that's the reason why. So faceoff will come outside of the Sea Captain's zone. Only 20 seconds elapsed off this Bay State power play. It'll be Jace Desmarais and Ethan Ranger. on the ensuing faceoff. Won by Ranger and cleared all the way down by Bain. DiFiore will leave it to the side of his cage for Mike Montague. Montague represented Bay State at the NA3HL Top Prospects Tournament. He was there with Landon Booth as this gets flipped all the way down the ice. DiFiore will have to settle it on down. He'll play it along for Nate Mastroni. Mastroni overskates the puck in the corner, then takes a hit from Moran. Chipped out towards center ice. Sacks the first one to it, and he pitchforks one right into the Bobcats bench. Getting a piece of it with his glove was Brian Woke as he relives his old dream of being a goaltender. 4:10 to go in the second period. 1:06 to go in the Bobcats power play, and the face-off down in the Sea Captain zone. Bobcats will keep the same unit up front of Demaray, Mastroni, and Skinner. Booth and Montague on the points as well. Brian Essing on the draw for the Sea Captains. He's out there with Killian Ranger up front. Darryl Smith will wrap one hard off the glass. Kept alive by Montague. Swung along for Booth. Booth then overskates the puck. Killian Ranger able to dive on out, get it out of the zone. Essing just has it a bit out of his reach. And so the Bobcats will regroup in their own end. Here's Skinner with 48 seconds to go on the power play and 3:48 to go in the second period. Given along for Montague. Montague through center ice. To the outside, now cuts towards the front of him. And a shot deflected out of play by Pellerito. Nice job by Montague, using the Norwich defender as a screen, making life more difficult for Pellerito. But nice job by the Michigander to get down in the butterfly and direct the puck out of play for a defensive zone faceoff. It's Jamison Bain and Jack Kinahan up front now for the penalty killers with 36 seconds to go. Damon Warren on the draw for the Cats. Clean win by Jamison Bain. Hayden wraps hard around the glass, not out of the zone. Jack Kinahan's able to get it on out. Here comes Kinahan in on a shorthanded breakaway. Kinahan, glove, save, Ben DiFiore, and he holds on. Well, Kinahan showing off the speed, and the release of that shot earmarked for the back of the net, but DiFiore flashes the leather and holds on for a face-off to his right. 3:27 to go in the second period, 24 seconds to go on the Bobcats' second power play. Off the draw, Jamison Bain, another face-off win. This time, however, Sherm is able to activate, and he'll get the puck down into the Norwich zone. Sherm, a centering feed, pinballs off of a couple pair of skates. Jamison Bain unable to clear. Hayden will give it a go, and he lofts one right into the penalty box of the Bobcats, where backup goaltender Cameron Schnapp suddenly found himself called into action. Was hoping for a glove save from Schnapp. He's got his pads on. He's got his helmet on. He's ready. But instead it landed at his skates. Face off out in the neutral zone. 3:10 to go in the second period. 7 seconds to go in the Cats' power play. As this is Pellerito touching long for Moran. He sends one off the glass. No icing on the play as the penalty expires, and we're back to even strength hockey. Sherm suddenly finds Ethan Ranger in his lap behind the net. Here's Killian Ranger, a backhand shot stopped by DiFiore. Around the boards, back to Sachs. Sachs' shot just goes wide. Loose puck picked up Killian Ranger. Harwell goes back to Moran. Now Moran back for Harwell. Tried to cycle along further. Ethan Ranger knocked away by the defense of Paul Johnson, and now Johnson picks up a loose puck at center ice. Johnson can't get around Moran, last man back. Sea Captain's coming back the other way as Ethan Ranger by himself into the zone. Falling down on the play was Sherm, but by falling down he took out Ranger as well. Chipped out towards center ice. Sachs plays along for Harwell. Troy Harwell, who started this year with Bay State, played 10 games for them, put up 5 points. Given along, here's Killian Ranger. Ranger a shot, knocked away by DiFiore. Harwell picks up the rebound on the far side half wall. Harwell stepping on in. His snapshot stopped by DiFiore, and he'll hold on. 1:58 to go in the second period, and another offensive zone face-off for the Sea Captains, as Norwich has had the majority of shots on goal in this second period. And they were able to get one goal on the power play, courtesy of Tegan Byer. But since then, Ben DiFiore has stopped everything that he's seen. A warning against Skinner. Puck is dropped, ends up in the corner, wrapped around near side by Montague. Pinching in from the point is Sean Loftus. Now played up the wall, Drew Schemmel back at the blue line. Fakes the shot, sends it down low. Jamison Bain for Aiden Bain. You know, it's easier when the Rangers are out there. At least they're brothers. Jamison and Aiden Bain, they don't even spell Bain the same way. At the blue line, it's Ian Skinner. Back for Montague. He'll play one off the boards onto the tape of Landon Booth. Booth run into by Loftus at the blue line. Still sent down into the Sea Captains' end as Daryl Smith tries playing it up ahead. Aiden Bain canceled out in front of the Bay State bench. 70 seconds to go in the period. Here's Daryl Smith. Turns the puck over. Mastroni, backhand shot stopped by Pellerito. And Brendan Pellerito able to clop a glove down on top of the puck. Face-off will be to his left with 1:02 to go in the second period. So fresh legs on the ice for the Sea Captains. Kinahan, Essing, and Ethan Ranger up front. Hayden and Romita, the defensive pairing. Seems like Hayden and Romita, of all the defensemen here for the Sea Captains, spend the most time together. They're usually called upon for the important face-offs. Played back to the point. Beaupre gives along for Skinner with 47 seconds to go. A shot on, stopped by Pellerito. Pellerito was knocked down by Mastroni. Play continues. Kinahan gets wiped out as well, but played up ahead, and Brian Essing will pick it up off the boards. It's a 4-on-1 down low. Essing gives a cross. Unable to take the shot was Romita. Now Kinahan, a centering feed, goes off the skates of Essing, corralled by Mastroni. He gives along for Landon Booth with 25 to go in the period. Landon Booth cutting towards the front of the net, a backhand shot, shouldered aside by Pellerito. Loose puck in the zone. Jack Kinahan will pick it up. Kinahan, who had a breakaway earlier in this period, drops it off Essing. Essing, a shot partially deflected wide. 8 seconds to go in the period. Mastroni picks up the puck in his own zone. He'll just play it up ahead. Skated on down by Romita, and that'll do it for the second period of play. So at the end of 2, it's Bay State 2, Norwich 1. Right to left, puck is down, and we are underway for the third period of action. Right in front of us, Jace Desmarais had it knocked off of his stick. Damon Warren unable to come up with possession, swung over far side, and now Brian Woke, shoved by Kinahan. At the red line, Loftus will send one on goal, and Ben DiFiore will leave it behind. As we mentioned earlier, this is the 10th and final game between these two teams during this regular season. The Bobcats have won all 9. Sea Captains would certainly like to prevent the Bobcats from going a perfect 10-0 against them during the season. Here's Ethan Ranger. Sending it down low, cut away by Sherm. Behind the net, having trouble with the puck was Beaupre. Rolls off of his stick. Aiden Bain able to come up with possession. Swung back up to the point where Sean Loftus sends it back down low. Warren stole away from Aiden Bain. Jace Desmarais taking his time to try and get it out of the zone. That goes off of a Norwich skate. And so it'll be Logan Beaupre into the zone. Beaupre run into by Loftus. And Daryl Smith saw the puck roll off of his stick behind the net. He's able to reach behind and regain possession. Ethan Ranger at least gets it over the blue line before Mastroni pitchforks one back into the zone. Off the boards, here's Ethan Ranger again, sending it down deep. DiFiore will come out of his cage and leave it aside for Montague. Mike Montague, an outlet pass, ends up in the Bay State bench off the stick of Landon Booth. Landon Booth, the captain of the Bay State Bobcats. You know, normally you expect your captain to not send a puck your way, especially when you're sitting on the bench. Sure, there'll be a conversation about that on the ride home. 100 seconds gone by in the period, 18:20 to go in regulation time. Shot on goal by Beyer off the draw. DiFiore sends it into the corner. Now here's Hayden at the point, looking for a shooting lane. His shot, blockered aside by DiFiore, played up the wall, and Nate Mastroni will work it up ahead. Mastroni throws one down the ice. No icing on the play as that goes off of a Norwich stick. And so Mateo Romita plays up the wall. Killian Ranger can't come up with possession. Romita has to deal with the forecheck of Ian Skinner. Now Timmy Hayden on the near side. Hayden, he'll lead things up ahead. Tim Hayden over the blue line. His shot gets blocked. A backhander goes over the top of the cage. Now Romita plays back down low. Bay State looking to clear it out of the zone. Killian Ranger will hop in. Bobcats able to get it out towards center ice. Hayden back the other way. DeFiore comes out of his cage. Behind the net, Bobcats looking to clear. It's Nate Mastroni. Played along for Skinner. Skinner goes far side, Landon Booth. 3-on-3 across the blue line. Booth spins away from the check of Sachs, but then has his puck stolen away by Ethan Ranger. Ranger can't get it deep as it's gloved down by Morissette. Ranger still working for the puck, however, forces a turnover onto the tape of Kinahan, whose centering feed goes through Essing. Now Kinahan a shot, that's blocked by Penning. Kinahan another opportunity on goal. He scores! Jack Kinahan! And we're tied at 2. That shift all Jack Kinahan, his 9th goal of the season. He's able to come up with the puck in the near side corner. Takes a couple shots, never quits on the play. And eventually he's able to sneak one through Ben DeFiore. So it's 16:52 to go in the third period. We are once again tied. Should be in store for a pretty fun finish. Tony Moran looking to clear. He'll loft one far side. That goes off the chest of Beaupre. It was intended for Schemmel. Sachs at the blue line, plays up ahead. Loose puck at center ice. Sherm sends it right back to whence it came. But Schemmel gives up ahead for Aiden Bain. Aiden Bain goes over the top of the cage. Jamison Bain following up on it. Wanted to go back down low. Instead, it'll be Schemmel who swings one along Aiden Bain. Bain can't take the shot. And so Schemmel at center ice goes back for Loftus. Now Jamison Bain into the zone. He'll chip one down deep. DeFiore leaves it behind for Penning. Woke. And now up ahead, it's Dylan Gallagher. Gallagher run into by Loftus. Couldn't get the puck into a dangerous area. Schemmel reverses back Loftus. Loftus run into by Penning. He'll try sneaking back behind the cage. Not as many Bobcats in front of him on the near side wall, and so Loftus will clear it out himself, chipping it down the ice. He'll chase after this. DeFiore out of his crease, so no icing on the play. Wrapped around to the far side. Bobcats need to make sure they don't have too many men on the ice as the Sea Captains and Darryl Smith from the red line send it on in. That ramped up off the stick of Brian Woke down deep. Harwell, first shift of the third period for him, sees this go over his stick, back down into the Sea Captain zone. Romita reverses. Killian Ranger able to slap it up ahead. Harwell on the forecheck. Can't get the puck off the stick of Logan Beaupre. Beaupre gives up ahead, and now here's Damon Warren in on a breakaway. Warren in. Glove save. Brendan Pellerito. And he'll hold on. Well, Damon Warren was relying upon his release, trying to go bar down on Brendan Pellerito, but a nice job by Pellerito not going down into a butterfly too early. Makes the glove save much easier for him, and he's able to hold on for a face-off to his left. 15:07 to go in regulation time, tied at 2 between the Sea Captains and the Bobcats. It'll be Ethan Ranger and Ian Skinner on the draw. On a 50-50 draw, puck in the linesman skates. Timmy Hayden able to work it on out. And now here's Hayden over the red line and over the blue into the Bobcats zone. Sent far side, pass intercepted by Johnson. Essing following up on the play. His centering feed stolen away by Ian Skinner. And now here's Skinner up ahead onto the tape of Landon Booth. Booth drilled into the boards. What a hip check thrown by Jack Kinahan. Textbook. Here's Romita turning the puck over. Back up to his skates, Booth. Can't take the shot. Instead, it'll be Hayden off the glass. Fumbling the puck was Essing. Hayden once again in his own zone. Played off the skates of Kinahan. Well, Jack Kinahan certainly had himself a third period so far. Sea Captains would love to see another goal go up on their side of the scoreboard. It's Ethan Ranger forcing a turnover. One-on-one into the zone. Ranger, a spinorama move, but canceled out by Montague. Sent over far side. Played off the boards by Booth, too far for Penning to control. Swung back the other way, collected by Ranger. Here's Ethan Ranger, a backhand shot. Blocker to side by DiFiore. Ethan Ranger again from behind the cage. Stolen once again away by Penning. Loftus, or check that, Sachs able to keep the puck in the zone momentarily, but dipping a shoulder and chipping it out of the zone was Piatetsana. Played up ahead. Penning able to intercept the pass intended for Schemmel, then pays a physical price as Jamison Bain sends him down to the ice. Bain fans on the dump-in attempt, and that draws his teammates offside. So with 6.5 gone by in the third period, we'll have a face-off outside the Bay State zone. Close game between these two squads. As we mentioned at the top of this broadcast, the Bay State Bobcats, with 4 wins in their last 5 games, they are currently 3 points clear of the New Jersey Titans for the 4th and final playoff spot in the East Division. However, New Jersey does have 3 games in hand. Bay State, after this game, will only have 3 games remaining in the season. Home against Danbury tomorrow, home against the Generals on the 2nd, and then at Long Beach to wrap up on March 6th. Here's Tegan Byer in the corner. Centering feed knocked away. Loose puck. Darryl Smith coming in from the point. His shot bounces in on goal. Blocker to side by DiFiore. Puck still loose on the side of the cage. Killian Ranger had it for a moment. He goes back to Smith. Smith winds and fires. Blocked in front of the cage. Off the glass. Smith able to soccer it back into the zone. Now Byer tries finding Killian Ranger. Ranger sends it into the area behind the cage. Only one there was Logan Beaupre. Giving up ahead for Desmarais. Now Jace Desmarais at the red line sends it all the way down. Was trying to hook up with Woke. Brian Woke, a centering feed, intercepted by Harwell. Picked up by Killian Ranger. Off the skates of Harwell. No icing on the play, so Troy Harwell nearly the first one to the puck. Instead, it's DiFiore. Then stepping on in from the blue line is Kinahan. Here's Harwell for Kinahan. He scores! Jack Kinahan, his 2nd of the game. And for the first time today, the Sea Captains lead it 3-2. Jack Kinahan comes onto the ice off a line change, makes a beeline for the net, keeps the puck in the zone, puts it onto the tape of Troy Harwell, and it's a 2-on-0 down low. Ben DiFiore simply left out to dry. Harwell a touch pass for Kinahan. For Kinahan, now his 10th goal of the season, his 2nd of the game, and the Sea Captains lead it 3-2. 12 minutes to go in regulation time. Shaken up behind the play for Bay State is Paul Johnson. He'll stay out on the ice. A shot on, knocked aside by Pellerito. Pellerito then from the side of the cage will hold on to the puck. Face-off will be to his left. But how about Jack Kinahan? The first-round draft pick of the Norwich Sea Captains in the NA3HL draft over the summer. It was at that draft that the Norwich Sea Captains were announced as one of the newest franchises in the NA3HL. They made Kinahan the 3rd overall pick. And Jack Kinahan with a pair of goals in this game. 11:47 to go in regulation time. Aiden Bain looking to clear. Falling down at the blue line was Mike Montague, but Montague was able to keep it in the zone. It was his teammates who were unable to keep it down there. And so Montague, with the snow on his back, plays it up ahead. Jamison Bain steals it away, but then gets run into by Montague. And now Paul Johnson. Good to see Johnson remaining on the ice. Montague plays off the wall, not out. Sachs a shot. That deflects into the corner. Loose puck picked up by Ian Skinner. Skinner over the red line. He'll dump it down deep. Tony Moran the first one to the puck. Mastroni right on top of him, but Moran able to play it off the wall, not out. Moran again behind the cage. Again gets around Mastroni. This time he'll go harder off the glass out of the zone. Montague picks it up. Played off the stick of Mastroni back into the Norwich zone. Now Johnson following up on the play. Sent towards the front of a net outside the reach of Landon Booth. Penning tries playing back down low for Booth. Instead it'll be Moran. Up ahead for Troy Harwell. 2-on-2 come the Sea Captains into the zone. Here's Harwell. A snapshot stopped by DiFiore. Harwell picks up his own rebound in the far corner. Wants to play it along for Darrell Smith. Instead, run into by Penning. Harwell maintains possession. Top of the circle, now in the slot. Harwell on goal. Glove saved by DiFiore. And the faceoff will remain in the Bay State zone. 10:28 to go in regulation time. Sea Captains lead it 3-2. Tegan Byer, Killian Ranger, Troy Harwell up front for an offensive zone faceoff. On a 50-50 draw, Byer with the puck in his skates. We have delayed call coming up against the Bobcats. There's the whistle. And so it's with 10:20 to go in the third period. Norwich is going to go on to their third power play of the game. They're 1 for 2 so far. As heading to the penalty box is Logan Beaupre, and he will sit 2 minutes for roughing. Yeah, call it 2 minutes for cross-checking instead. But either way, the Sea Captains, who already lead by 1, have another opportunity on the power play to give themselves a little breathing room. Keep in mind, however, when it comes to penalties and when it comes to shorthanded goals for the Bobcats, they only have 4 goals shorthanded this year. Meanwhile, the Sea Captains, they've surrendered 11 shorthanded, and they can't afford to do that here. Timmy Hayden gives along for Ethan Ranger, along for Killian, who will send it down deep. DiFiore out of his cage. He'll try and clear it out himself, wrapped around the far side wall. Hayden holds it alive at the blue line. Ethan Ranger, however, can't gain possession, and it squirts out towards the red line. Now Tony Moran plays ahead for Jamison Bain. Bain, a touch pass for Killian Ranger outside of his reach. Chipped out of the zone by Skinner. And Moran corrals at his own blue line. 30 seconds gone by on the power play. Ethan Ranger sends down low. Killian Ranger chasing after it. Gets run into by Montague. Puck pinned up against the wall. Ethan comes in to help out. Now Killian behind the cage. Jamison Bain in there as well, as all 3 forwards for the Sea Captains are below the goal line. Tim Hayden at the blue. Slowly taking his time. Keeping a close eye on things is Ian Skinner. Hayden dishes along Moran. Moran throws it across for Killian Ranger, who can't keep the puck in the zone. So Tim Hayden once again for Ethan Ranger. Ethan Ranger wants to get towards the front of the net. Flexed away by Montague. Now Jamison Bain with 40 seconds to go in the power play. Gives across. Harwell a shot swallowed up by Ben DiFiore. And the faceoff will be to DiFiore's left. 8:55 to go in regulation time. 35 seconds to go on Norwich's third power play. They'll roll out the line of Byer, Essing, and Kinahan up front with Harwell and Loftus on the point. On the shorthanded draw is Nate Mastroni. Puck finds its way back to the blue line. Loftus fans on the pass, instead walks into the slot. He scores! Sean Loftus, the captain, delivers a power play goal, and it's 4-2 Sea Captains. A bit of a broken play as Sean Loftus wanted to dish the puck along. Fanned on the pass. Mastroni couldn't come up with the puck. And then Loftus suddenly had the Seas part in front of him. He sends one underneath the glove of Ben DiFiore. It's the 3rd goal this period for the Sea Captains. Their 2nd power play goal of the game. And with 8:45 to go in regulation time, Norwich leads it by 2. Here's Matt Sherm, who got the scoring started in this game. Played up ahead for Gallagher. Dylan Gallagher caught from behind by Schemmel, and then he takes Schemmel down to the ice. Play continues as Moran sends one around far side. Penning overskates the puck. Jamison Bain able to break it on out. His pass too hard for Aiden Bain to handle. Loose puck at the red line. Gets slapped into the zone by Moran. Aiden Bain remembers offsides is a thing, so he goes to touch up. Wrapped around to the near side wall, and here's Dylan Gallagher. Turned over. Loose puck. Tony Moran in his own zone. He'll send one over the glass and nearly right into us. Not sure if we said anything poorly about Tony Moran, but we're going to have to reassess that now. 8:04 to go in the third period. Face-off's going to be back down into the Norwich zone. Unfortunately, it's well, I'd call it a snowy day, but it's icier than that. But not many folks braving the elements to come out here to the Rose Garden Ice Arena. I can't say that I blame them, as, well, driving along I-95 and then 395 to get to the rink, it was more of a slip and slide than a highway. Here's Brian Essing sending it down deep. He'll chase after the puck himself and get there. Behind the net, Kinahan is centering feed. Nobody home wearing a white jersey, so Jace Desmarais over the red line, over the blue. Desmarais to the outside. Desmarais, a rising shot, catches nothing but glass. Ethan Ranger picks up the loose puck, turns it over. Desmarais right back with the puck. Desmarais tries dipsy-doodling his way towards the front of a net, knocked away by Romita. Kinahan looking to clear. He can't get it over the blue line either, as Paul Johnson flips one in on goal. Ethan Ranger picks up the puck left aside by Pellerito, played off the wall, and now here's Jack Kinahan. Tries to get around Mastroni, able to do so, can't get around Montague. Now Kinahan with the puck again. Kinahan, a shot, saved by DiFiore, seared into the corner. Mastroni plays it up towards center ice. Daryl Smith sends that off his teammate, Matteo Romita. It still got over the blue line. Bobcats look to regroup with 7 minutes to go in regulation time. Mastroni chips it up ahead. Loftus steers it along the wall for Killian Ranger. Ranger canceled out at center ice, and the Bobcats regroup once again. Here's Sherm. His pass can't connect with Skinner. Daryl Smith plays it off the wall. Byer was hoping for the puck to end up on his backhand. Instead, it goes a bit too far. Killian Ranger with the poke. Mastroni plays up to the point. Smith keeps it alive. And now Landon Booth up ahead for Ian Skinner as the Bobcats come 4-on-3 into the Norwich zone. Smith misplays the puck behind the net, takes a tumble down to the ice as well. Now Beaupre has his shot blocked. Byer pokes it out of the zone. 6:20 to go. At center ice, Smith forces a turnover. Harwell gives along Byer. Then Tegan Byer sent it wide. Daryl Smith again at the red line. He'll send one down deep. Sea Captains only sending one forechecker deep. It results in a turnover as Troy Harwell picks off a pass, stolen away and knocked out of the zone by Gallagher. Drew Schemmel at center ice. He wants to go back across for Loftus. Loftus can't get it around Landon Booth, and Booth takes it into the zone. Flopped in towards goal. Pellerito awkwardly out. That draws the whistle from the official, and now some pushing and shoving behind the net. 5:40 to go in the third period. Referee had lost sight of the puck as Pellerito wasn't able to get a glove on it. See if any penalties arise out of this, as it looked like the referee did have his arm up. No one's in the box for the Bobcats, but it looks like Troy Harwell has drawn the official's ire. So he'll go to the penalty box for the Sea Captains, and he'll sit 2 minutes for cross-checking. 5:40 to go in the third period, and the Bay State Bobcats, trailing by 2, are about to go on to the power play once again in this game. Matt Sherm scored on the power play in the first period, and, well, that's just about been it for the power plays. They had another one in the second, so Bobcats 1 for 2, and check this out. They're going for it. Ben DiFiore to the bench, extra attacker on for the Bobcats. It's a 6-on-4 man advantage, as Bay State is looking for a goal now to cut Norwich's lead in half. They'll begin with Nate Mastroni up front, alongside Landon Booth, Brian Woke. And there's a fourth forward out there. Ian Skinner and Mike Montague will line up on the blue lines. Jace Desmarais, of course, turns out to be the sixth forward for the Bobcats. And this is where Bay State really misses the presence of leading scorer Will Cormie. Cormie over a point per game, 45 points in 43 games with 15 goals and 30 assists, including 10 points on the power play. Cormie temporarily sidelined for Bay State with an upper body injury, and they hope to have him back in a week or two. So a 6-on-4 advantage. Jace Desmarais and Ethan Ranger on the draw. Empty net, 2 hour left. Off the draw, one by Ranger. Remember, it's a penalty for the Sea Captains, so they can shoot it onto the empty net from anywhere on the ice. That puck apparently went off the ceiling. And the faceoff will remain in the Norwich zone. Only 6 seconds elapsed. 5:33 to go in regulation time. Jace Demarais, a left-handed shot. He could shoot this on goal if he wanted to here. False start as the linesman actually had his hand hit trying to drop the puck. You don't see that too often. Usually you don't want to annoy the officials. Off the draw. Ethan Ranger with the faceoff win. Sachs gets hit hard into the boards. Following up on the play, however, is Tony Moran. He sends it all the way down. Picking up the puck in his own crease is Mike Montague. 20 seconds gone by on the power play. Here's Landon Booth coming out from behind the cage. Booth nearly overskates the puck. Tries to dump it on down. Knocked by a high stick by Mastroni. Moran got a twig on it as well, so no whistle on the play. Ethan Ranger battling for the puck right at his own blue line. Tony Moran in there as well, and Moran will send it on down. 40 seconds gone by on the power play. Here's Damon Warren. Smoked out from behind the empty net by Jamison Bain. Warren gaining speed through center ice. Across the line they come. Dropped back Demarais. Jace Demarais sends over far side Landon Booth. Booth slid along Woke. Woke in the corner, looking for an option. Has Demarais, can't connect with him as Woke splits the difference with the defense, and it goes all the way back down into their own end. 50 seconds to go on the power play. Bay State needs 2 to tie. Played up ahead, and Landon Booth breaks into the Sea Captain zone once again. This time he hits Mastroni. A sharp angle attempt off the shoulder of Pellerito into the glove. Brendan Pellerito will hold on for a face-off to his left. 4:19 to go in regulation time, 39 seconds to go on the Bay State power play. Ben DiFiore stays on the bench for Bay State, but now getting, well, Matt Sherm will come onto the ice. He'll replace Ian Skinner. So again, a 6-on-4 advantage for Bay State. 39 seconds to go. You almost have to wonder if they'll put DiFiore back in on the fly. Shot from the point gloved by Pellerito. Sean Loftus knocked down to the ice after the whistle blew, but the official says play on. 4:11 to go in the third. 32 seconds to go on the Bay State power play. It'll be Demarais and Byer once again. False start on the draw against the Bobcats. Norwich will decline the yardage, and we'll do it all over again to Brendan Pellerito's left. It was Nate Mastroni who jumped early, coming in from the near side wall. Official comes by, tells him, don't do that. So Demarais and Byer on the draw. A bouncing puck in the slot. A shot ramps up off the skates of Jack Kinahan. And Kinahan will get an appreciative fist bump from Brendan Pellerito. 26 seconds to go on the power play. Another face-off. Won by the Bobcats, but they can't keep the puck in the zone. Here's Sherm. Plays it along for Booth, who loses his footing. Sent in on. They score! A short-handed empty net goal by Tegan Byer. His second of the game. And the Sea Captains lead it 5-2. Oh, with 4 goals now in the third period, that matches a season high for the Sea Captains. Norwich coming into this game when trailing after the first period. They have not won a game over the course of the season. When trailing after one, they have a record of 0-18-3. But they lead it by 3 with under 4 minutes to go in the third period. Ben DiFiore returns to the goal on our left. 6 seconds to go on the power play. Sachs wraps it around the boards, not out. Stepping on in, a sharp angle attempt off the skates of Pellerito. Penalty is now expired. Harwell out of the box. Byer plays down the ice, and Harwell will chase after it. DiFiore ventures out of his cage, gives along for Sherm, and now Alex Penning gets run into by Moran. Moran ended up on the ice. 3:20 to go, and now Tony Moran in his own end. He'll send one all the way out of play. That actually went through the Bay State bench, through their door, out into the hallway. Not sure if Moran could do that again, but perhaps that can be the bet at the next practice here at the Rose Garden Ice Arena. 3:13 to go in the third. Face-off will remain in the Norwich zone. On the draw for the Bobcats is Ian Skinner. And a puck that is battled for by both teams ends up in the corner, wrapped around by Romita. Now Paul Johnson sends that goes off the helmet of Byer. Byer racing up ahead, has a pair of Bobcat defensemen to deal with. Killian Ranger following up on the play, gets it a bit deeper. Under 3 minutes to go. Here's Brian Essing in front. Killian Ranger rips a shot that gets blocked. Loose puck picked up by Skinner. Reverse back long for Johnson. Brian Woke has to slide on down. He chips it up the wall, but a nice job by Hayden to keep it on in. Sent behind the cage. Here's Ethan Ranger back up to Romita at the point. He'll wind and fire, blocked before it got through. Killian Ranger tries going for Ethan behind the net. Instead, it's Ian Skinner stealing the puck away. He finds Johnson with 2:20 to go in regulation time. Here's Romita. Stolen away by Johnson. And now Mike Montague slowly up ahead. He'll send this one on goal, so Pellerito simply leaves it aside for Romita. 2 minutes to go. Here's Nick Lipinski. Played up ahead for Schemmel. Lipinski can't get around Mastroni, and then Mastroni gets hit by all three Norwich forwards. Hayden back for Romita. Long pass skips off of the stick of Schemmel, so no icing on the play with 100 seconds to go. Far side. Here's Landon Booth, the captain of the Bobcats. Over the red line. Landon Booth gets around Lipinski into the zone. Takes a whack from Loftus. Gets hit by Jamison Bain. Finally loses possession of the puck. Played up ahead for Darryl Smith, and Smith softly plays it into the neutral zone. Sherm stepped up on the play, eventually saw the puck go past him. Demarais plays off the wall. And now up ahead, it's Landon Booth. Booth with a minute to go in the third period. Lost possession of the puck. Aiden Bain will just simply send it into the Bay State zone. 55 seconds to go. Darryl Smith at the blue line. Deflected by Bain on goal. Gloved by DiFiore. He wanted to play it along for Mastroni. But the faceoff will be in the Bay State zone with 49.8 seconds to go. And the Norwich Sea Captains leading by 3. Well, the Sea Captains have certainly had more than their fair share of frustration so far this season. At one point, they could not secure a win in 24 straight games, but things finally getting a bit better for the Sea Captains over the past month or so. And they are well on their way to defeating the Bay State Bobcats for the first time in franchise history. Would not be surprised if these two teams end up battling for a playoff spot next year. 30 seconds to go. Loftus, or check that, Sachs will send it on down. DiFiore leaves it behind the cage. Wrapped around the boards by Janik. Held alive by Jamison Bain. He finds Troy Harwell. Harwell, stick handling with the puck. 15 seconds to go. Given back from Moran. His shot saved by DiFiore. The rebound, Ben DiFiore gets that one as well. Again, he wanted to play it along, but again, the whistle just a bit too fast. 10.8 seconds to go. Time for one last offensive face-off in this game. It'll be to the right of Ben DiFiore. Off the draw, puck ends up in the corner. Harwell with the puck. 5 seconds to go. Harwell will stick handle out towards center ice. And for the first time, the Norwich Sea Captains have defeated the Bay State Bobcats. 4 goals in the third period. And the Sea Captains win it 5-2.